You're suing the defendant, who was a landlord in a former apartment where you lived, for the return of your security deposit. Mr. Igbali, your position is she's not entitled to the return of your security deposit because she didn't provide sufficient notice. There's really one key issue in this case as I see it, because I looked at the lease. The lease provides for 60-day notice. We're all on the same page with respect to that? Yes?
Yes.
Anderson?
Well, not entirely, Your Honor. I was...
Already, not entirely.
Yeah. So there was a bit of confusion with the lease starting off. It went back and forth several different times because there was certain areas which was incorrect, including, the security deposit or the monthly rent or the move-in date. So finally, we did get a correct lease on the date of my move-in, which I signed on July 15th. On the lease on the first page, it is marked off as a month-to-month agreement. As I was...
Read paragraph 46 that says that you have to provide 60-day notice and that the roommates have 65 days to find a new tenant, so that there are two sets of obligations, something I assume the defendant did because he doesn't want to go chasing the vacated roommate for the portion of the rent. You also must have believed that the 60-day notice provision was applicable because you gave 60 days notice, didn't you?
Yes, I did give him a 60-day notice, and I did find somebody to take over my lease on October 15th, which would be the 30 days. And so when I found the new roommate to move in and was about to sign the lease, that's when the defendant raised the rent.
Mr. Igbali, is that accurate?
No. This is the first time I hear about
You don't know about a landlord
change of rent. No. I explained respectfully a little like setup. The setup is that three young ladies have been living in that apartment for a few years. Occasionally, somebody wants to move out. It's a gentleman agreement that they find somebody because they want to live with the third person. And once they screen, then I'd be the last person to know. And I say, okay, let's send her credit check. And you like her, I'm fine. So I never received anything. Only I knew Chloe, who's one of the roommates. He said they have found somebody. And the last thing, Chloe said, you know what, the girl that wanted, she withdrew.
The person withdrew. So burden's back on you, Ms. Anderson. He says he never saw her.
Right. Well, I have a text message between me and the roommate, Chloe, because she was the only one that was contacting me at the time. And she said that Barry is raising the rent for the room, so Milan is no longer interested, and I'm going to...
What was the rent you were paying, $1,050?
Yes, that was my rent.
Mr. Igbali, did you raise the rent for that room?
No.
So is the room rented now?
Yes.
For how much?
The same, $1,050. It was rented, I think, the end of December.
Judge Domingo?
So, sir, this is not as clear at 60-day notice is necessary as you think. More like what the plaintiff thinks, there are some inconsistencies. So the first page, this agreement continues from the commencement date as a month-to-month tenancy. Tenant may terminate the tenancy by giving written notice at least 30 days prior to the intended termination date. So that right there, it says 30 days. And then the part that you're talking about comes in under paragraph 46, where it says, other tenant agrees to give 60 days notice prior to move out. And it doesn't say that this replaces paragraph 1. So I myself would be a bit confused which prevailed. But since you did submit the lease to her, coming from your office, your lawyers, your experience, I would have to say that it would be construed against you. But let me ask you, Ms. Anderson, have you come to terms with the fact that you needed to give 60 days notice, or are you still under the belief that it was 30 days?
So I originally was going to give him a 30-day notice. I gave the 60-day notice just because I wanted to go with the more later of the option instead of completely breaking the lease and giving 30 days when this part down here, which I was very confused with as well because...
So your position is even though you believed it was 30 days, you gave 60 because there was this conflicting paragraph, and rather than be in breach of the lease, you figured, let me just follow through with that.
Yes, and I was prepared to find somebody to take my place for that 30 days. And then also Chloe advised me of a separate agreement that they had, that she had an additional 30 days, which is the entire 60 days, plus the 65 days to find a roommate in replacement of me.